and get ready to listen to some absolute fire. Francisco, are you there, my friend? And welcome. Let's give him a big welcome in the chat. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here. I'm ready to share the little that I know with everyone in PAC. I am honored to be able to just share this time with you guys, and honored that Anthony, John, the PAC leadership has had me in mind to be able to share this with you guys. And I take the opportunity very serious, just because I know how important time is, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. What I would like to do is I want to go ahead and just tell you a little bit about myself. I've been working with Jose Esparza for about 4 or 5 years. I've known Jose Esparza here in Arkansas for a long time. And he, in fact, was the agent that sold me my first house. And from there, the love for real estate kind of started early on in my early 20s, but I never actually got into real estate until I'm 37 now. And it was my early 30s where I started actually getting into real estate, becoming an agent and everything else. So again, thank you, Anthony. Thank you, PAC leadership. I want to thank Vanessa, who's obviously supporting everyone on the back end. I want to thank Alex here in Arkansas, that's kind of keeping the wheels going. I want to thank my team, my assistants, James. I can't be where I am if I didn't have those people around me that are supporting me. So, without further ado, I'm going to be sharing some things with you guys today related to time management. Now, I want to ask you guys a question real quick. By the way, I love the energy that Anthony Morel always brings to these meetings. It's, I've been part of a lot of different types of Zooms and meetings, and the last thing you want to do is sit there and listen to someone that's just monotone and kind of going through the motions. Anthony talks with his hands a lot, and that just kind of like, okay, he's excited about this. He's about to say something that we all need to hear. So I love that about him. But I want to ask you guys a quick question. What would you say is the most valuable asset that you have? If you can throw it on the chat, go for it. Think about this in your mind as you're driving or whatever it is that you are. What's your most valuable asset? I can tell you that it's definitely not going to be your house, the stocks that you may own, gold. Won't be any of those things. Your most valuable asset is your time. Time is non-renewable. Once spent, you never get it back. Jim Rohn, pioneer in self-development, said it this way: time is our most valuable asset, yet we tend to waste it, kill it, and spend it rather than invest it. Wow. If you think about time and you think about how long most people are alive on this planet, and you break it down into seasons, some people are lucky enough to see maybe 60 to possibly 70 Christmas seasons, or 60 to 70 summers. And when you start thinking in those terms, you realize just how quickly time can go by, and how valuable it is to use your time in a fashion to where everything you do on the daily basis is towards meeting those goals that you have. I can tell you from my own personal journey, and my mind shifted even more so when I had my kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. And, even with the experience that I've had managing other businesses, sometimes I'm with my family and my kids, and my little girl, who's only 3, she's a talker. She's constantly asking questions and everything else, right? So every now and then I happen to pick up my phone and I look at it, and she says this, and it's so cute. She says, "Daddy, no working, okay?" And it reminds me that, whenever I'm with my family, I normally try to keep business aside and spend that time with my family and structure things in a way to where I don't have to take away from my family, right? Because again, that time with my kids and my family is so precious that I want to make sure that I'm able to spend it. And my kids and my wife know that with everything that I've got going on, sometimes I tend to kind of blur the lines of where my quality time and my businesses begin to kind of overlap a little bit. And I try not to do that because again, the time that I get to spend with my family is limited. And what I want to do today is just give you guys some tips on how to best manage your time. This valuable asset that we have that is very limited, right? I've got some tips, and if you're able to take notes, great. If you can't, that's fine. If you're able to just pay attention, this is being recorded. Everyone will get the benefit of listening to it again. But tips to better manage your time are these tips that I'm getting ready to share with you are things that I put together in my experience, my 37 years of age, by trial and error. Right? I wish somebody would have given me a book or these tips right off the bat that I could have just implemented, but it was through trial and error that I came across all these different things that I'm getting ready to share with you. The first thing that I want to give you on time management is setting reminders. Don't trust your memory. I'm as guilty as anyone else in saying and thinking about those things that I need to do and never writing them down. And then all of a sudden I forget. For instance, in real estate, we all have things that we have to do on the regular basis to be able to keep our deals going, right? We need to get proper disclosures out to people. We need to get certain documents ready for closing, for title companies or escrow or whatever, right? And more times than not, sometimes like, oh man, I forgot to get that sent over there. It is because we tend to want to trust our memory. You know, one of the best tools that our generation has is to be able to have these smartphones that you can utilize and speak to, right? You can actually say, hey Siri, could you please remind me about XYZ? And we don't use those tools. The thing about time management is to learn how to be resourceful, right? Using your resources that you have to be able to make you more efficient. You know, if you're not able to get to a pen and paper, I particularly love to be able to write things down. I've got a notepad where I'm keeping things on track as far as what I need to do, what I've done, and I'm crossing things off. But sometimes I don't get the benefit of doing that, and I'm driving. So I tend to use the resources that I have, which is my smartphone, to be able to set some of those reminders. So one of the biggest things people waste time on is not setting reminders and constantly having to backtrack and try to remember what it is that I was supposed to be doing, and you're shuffling through your phone or papers just because you don't have something set. The next thing I want to share with you guys is learning how to prioritize. You know, if you're a person that sets reminders and you've got a list of things that you need to do, but you haven't learned how to prioritize things, then you're not being as efficient as you can be. Not everything needs to be done right now. Not everything needs to be done today. There's things that can be put on the back burner. You don't lose track of them, right? But you prioritize those things that need your immediate attention. For instance, all of us in real estate will have clients, sellers, buyers, title companies, escrows, other team members within the team that are constantly messaging you. Me personally, I have no idea how Anthony Morel keeps track of all the things he's involved in with speaking at PAC meetups and everything else, but I'm sure he's got a list of priorities that he's working from, because not everything has to get done right this second. So understanding how to prioritize it's a huge tip that I can give you, because even something as simple of understanding, look, I'm going to be in the sales meeting for the next hour. That is going to be my priority for the next hour. I'm not going to be answering any text messages or any calls. I've got to be in the sales meeting because there's information I need to hear. There's something that is going to be happening within our company that I want to hear what's going on and what's happening. That's my priority right now, right? So prioritizing has been a huge game changer for me, just understanding how to do so and doing it well. The next thing I want to talk about is avoid multitasking. Eliminate distractions. I'm as guilty as anybody else when it comes to how many of us are driving, right? And we get a text message and we want to drive and text at the same time. I know I do it, and I know I shouldn't do it, right? But in our minds, there's something about us that makes us think that we are, quote unquote, more efficient when we're multitasking. When in fact, there's science out there that has shown that our brains aren't wired to be able to do such a thing. You're gonna remove focus from something that you're currently doing to put it into something else. Even though you think you're multitasking, your brain is not wired that way, right? And I'm talking from personal experience. There's been times that when I'm driving, and I'm getting better at this, that I will send a text message, and then I was like, man, I don't remember the last 5 seconds that I was on the road, what I passed or what transpired, because I was so focused on my phone. It's dangerous, right? And that is just a general example of multitasking that happens, that takes our focus from important things. You know, sometimes as agents, we tend to feel like when we're in front of our computer, it's time for us to answer emails and answer text messages, and I need to now get back to this particular buyer and everything. Doing all of that makes us less efficient. Even though you think you're doing more, you're actually doing less. So eliminating distractions has been one of the biggest keys for me. And that is, to me, a distraction is social media. A distraction could be even just music that you like to listen to. I particularly can't focus on what I'm supposed to be doing if there's music in the background. I know there's people that can do it, and they actually do very, very well with that. I can't. So that I've got to understand how I work and what is taking my focus away from what I'm supposed to be doing. And shutting down those things that are taking your focus is going to improve your efficiency 5, 10, 20 times. And you'll be surprised of how much you'll be able to accomplish if you begin to pay attention to those things that are taking your focus away. The next one that I want to talk about, and I might spend a little bit more time on this one, is learning to say no. That one point right there is worth you showing up to this sales meeting today. When I first started real estate, I worked for a very small brokerage. An older broker, she was used to doing everything old school. She didn't use any of the electronic signatures. She was used to like driving and get wet signatures for everything, right? So I got to see firsthand how things were done prior to all this technology. And as I was learning from her, one of the things that she told me early on was this, is learn to say no. And I want to give you an example of this is, I don't think a lot of us see ourselves as professionals the way we should look at ourselves as a professional. And to put this into perspective, what I have to say is, how many of you guys are able to get on the phone right now, call your lawyer, your CPA, your dentist, or your doctor and say, hey, this is Francisco Hernandez. I need you to see me right now. Drop everything. You need to see me now. Guess what's going to happen? Number one, they're probably going to laugh at you. It's like, I don't know who you think you are, but there's no way in the world I'm seeing you right now, right? Second thing is going to happen is they're probably going to put you in touch with the secretary so that you can schedule an appointment. That's how business gets done. That's how professionals handle business. Now, they have to say no because they know that if they're able to have their week scheduled and they have to say no to certain people so that they can put them on whatever next opening they have in their schedule, that's what's going to make that doctor, that lawyer, that CPA more efficient. Okay? But when we talk about real estate, most agents don't see themselves in that fashion. I don't understand why. In my own personal opinion, we're as important as a lawyer. We're as important as a doctor. We're as important as a CPA. And just like these professionals don't just automatically drop everything to just see you, we need to take notes as to how they handle their business. Because there is nothing wrong for you to tell, maybe this just happens to me, right? But I've got buyers that constantly want to call me and say, hey, I just drove by this house. Can you drive over here and show me this house right now? That happens all the time. Maybe it's just me, but that happens to me. And what I have to do is I have to set the expectation. I have to be a leader to my clients and let them know that there's certain processes that have to happen. I have to schedule a showing. I just can't open the door. Maybe there's people living in the home. Maybe there's more to that property that I need to check on, do some due diligence before we go see it. Maybe this property has had multiple insurance claims and you won't be able to put an insurance on this home. I need to do all of that before we schedule a showing, right? But when you explain to your clients the reason why you're saying no, most of them understand. Most of them are more than happy to say, you know what, you're absolutely right. Go ahead and do your due diligence. Let me know when we can go see the house. And if you're spending time just driving back and forth all over the city, because this client's called you right now, and then the other one wants you to run over here and show this other property, your efficiency just becomes less and less and less. Learning to say no, not just to certain clients, but also learning to say no to bad business. Let me say that again, learning to say no to bad business. I am a firm believer in firing the customer. The customer is not always right. In fact, no one is always right, which means that there are certain clients, certain buyers, certain sellers that I don't want to do anything with, right? Maybe their personality doesn't jive with mine. Like, I don't have to do business with everyone, nor you shouldn't have to do so, right? Just on the other side of the equation, they don't have to do business with me. But learning how to say no is going to save you all kinds of time, personally and professionally. Here's the last tip that I want to go over with you guys is creating a daily schedule. A lot of us got into real estate because we wanted to have the freedom to be our own boss. Can I see a show of hands? I know that was me. I want to be my own boss. I want to be able to work my own hours. I want to be able to wake up when I want to. I want to be able to just go on appointments when I feel like doing it, right? And then be off. That's the mindset that most of us had when we wanted to get into real estate. Very soon we find out that we end up working 24/7. And most of us do that not realizing that having a set schedule is actually going to save you time to be with your family. So your time can be divided into a couple things, a couple groups. You can have your income generating tasks and your income servicing tasks. Those two, if you learn how to separate those two, is going to be a game changer for you. Understanding what is an income generating task, like lead generation, following up, negotiation, listing presentations, your marketing, number updating. You know, what I'm doing right now is like I'm sharing information with you guys, a seminar, right? And income servicing, the transaction management, inspections, appraisals, updating your clients, lockbox delivery, flyers, email follow-up. Understanding how to divide those things are also going to help you on your daily schedule. Something that helped me about 2 years ago is understanding the value of an assistant. It's gotten to the point where all my transaction management is now on auto mode because I don't have to be the person doing all those tasks. When you're first starting off in the business, creating a schedule and understanding where you should be spending your time is rather difficult. Beginning to separate these two things from income generating and income servicing will help you begin creating a schedule. Here's an example that you guys can use or not use, right? But here's just something that you can kind of use as a template, if you will, as far as how you can schedule your day. Because I'll tell you what, I'm amazed at the number of agents that wake up at 9, 10, 11 in the morning. Man, you've wasted about 5 hours out of the day where you could have been doing something with your day. Early on, and I'm gonna go through these rather quickly. I think it was about 2 weeks ago, I sent a text message to someone right around the time I woke up. It was something that I needed to get out there, and it might have been Jose Esparza or somebody else. I don't remember who it was. But somebody asked me, man, what are you doing awake at 5 in the morning? Okay. Now, I didn't say this, but I thought about it. I said, man, if you knew where I'm going at 5 a.m., you would wake up at 5 a.m. If you knew the goals that I had, you would be waking up probably earlier than 5 a.m., right? Like I've got goals, I've got things not only on my professional life, but also my personal life, my physique. Anthony talked about just a little while ago about this trainer that is revolutionized the way he feels, he looks, and everything else. Man, Anthony is grinding because he wants to feel good, right? So when you set a schedule, like every morning I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. so that I can have the discipline to get my body in shape. Because if I feel good, then I will do good. If I can feel confident in myself and be able to walk into a listing appointment and not feel odd about how maybe I feel that I'm a little bit overweight or this clothes don't fit all that well, that confidence is going to turn into money. So getting a schedule to where you wake up at 5 a.m. So here's an example. 5 a.m. I wake up. 5:30, I'm meditating. I'm getting my mind right. I'm trying to get those things out of my mind and getting my mind clear for the day. By 6 a.m., I'm working out. I'm doing some sort of cardio, or I'm lifting weights, something. I need to get my body moving so that I'm able to get the juices going for the day. By 8 a.m., I am doing some sort of role play or meeting with my assistants via Zoom, trying to get the day going and organized, right? By 8:15, we're doing some sort of prospecting, right? We need to get after it. Lead generation. As salespeople, that is our number one goal, is to lead gen, right? Getting after it, getting those potential leads that can eventually turn into deals. Role play. The Bible says iron sharpens iron. Yeah. So role playing as a professional, as a real estate professional, it's absolutely crucial. If you begin to sharpen your skills and you begin to feel comfortable with your role play partners, then man, when you go to those listing appointments, you're absolutely gonna crush it, because you're gonna feel comfortable about being able to be in there and how to handle objections and all that good stuff. Role play is absolutely crucial for your business. 10:30, we do a little bit more prospecting. Noon, lunch. How many of us skip on lunch? because we are too busy for lunch. Guilty as charged. That's happened to me all the time, right? It's like, man, I can't break away to eat because X, Y, Z. No, your mind needs a break. Go to lunch, feed your body. It's fuel to get the other half of the day going. By 1 p.m., you do some lead follow-up. 2 p.m., some admin work. 3 p.m., prep for evening meetings. And by 5 p.m., boom, evening meetings, listing appointments, right? You schedule your day like this, then you're gonna have the evenings to be spending time with your family. Jose Esparza and everybody else here at Pac Home Realty in Arkansas are continually asking me, like, man, how are you able to spend time with your kids in the evening every day? It's because I follow a schedule, right? Yes, I'm my own boss. Yes, if I wanted to, I can wake up at 10, 11, 12 in the afternoon, right? But I choose not to because my time is valuable. So I want to leave you guys with this. If there's one thing that you can change for next year in order for you to meet your goals, is going to be to put that focus on your time management. If you are able to get that nailed down, trust me, you're gonna crush your goals. You're gonna go beyond your goals. You wanna recruit X amount of agents, you can do it. If you're able to structure your day. You wanna sell 50 deals next year, you can do 70 if you truly wanted to. If you can be as efficient as you can be with your time. Personally, seeing Pac Home Realty explode the first year, what the brokerage has been able to do, can you imagine what the brokerage could do if every agent in Pac Home Realty was able to get their time management under control? Woo! Man, there would be news talking about Pac Home Realty and the explosion that will be happening. But guys, this is what I had to share with you guys today. I'm gonna pass this over to our CEO, Anthony. I thank you for the opportunity you've given me today to be able to share this with everyone. I'm truly honored, and I'm excited to see what the brokerage is able to do in the coming years, particularly so next year.